Hi, this is Venkat Rao.
This is Aditya.
In this video, we will be going to cover engineering mathematics for 2021 ESE prelims with the detailed solutions.
So in 2021 ESE prelims, there were total 15 questions from engineering mathematics.
Let's have a discussion on it. Now we'll be going to solve the problems. Regarding the first problem, the value of integral 0 to 1, integral 0 to x square plus y square dA. dA means small elemental area. We can also write it as dx dy. So, let us take the question. Here x limits 0 to 1, y limits 0 to x. X square plus y square dx dy or dy dx. First, let us integrate with respect to y first and then with respect to x. When you are integrating with respect to y, the other variable x must be kept constant. So, this is equal to integral x is equal to 0 to 1 integral x square dy, that is x square y, plus integral y square dy, that is y cube by 3. Between the limits y is equal to 0 to x dx. So, replace y by the upper limit x minus replace y by the lower limit 0. So, this is equal to integral 0 to 1, these are x limits, replace y by upper limit x square into x, and that is x cube plus x cube divided by 3. Replace y by the lower limit 0, we'll get the same answer only, into dx. This is equal to integral 0 to 1, 3 into x cube, 3x cube plus x cube, 4x cube divided by 3. So, that is 4 by 3 x cube dx. X cube integration, x power 4 by 4, 4 cancel, so x power 4 by 3. Between the limits 0 to 1. So, replace x by upper limit 1 minus lower limit 0. This is equal to 1 power 4 1 by 3. So, answer 1 by 3 square units. Let us see the next problem. You just read the given problem. X is equal to uv, y is equal to u plus v by u minus v. Then we were asked to find the value of Jacobian of u comma v with respect to x comma y. So, this is the Jacobian transformation of u comma v with respect to x comma y. So, but to find dou u by dou x or del u by del x as well as del u by del y, first of all u value should be given in terms of x and y, but we were not given u value in terms of x and y. That's why we will find in this manner dou x by dou u and dou x by dou v. Similarly, dou y by dou u and then dou y by dou v. After that, we had a property of dou of u comma v by dou of x comma y into dou of x comma y by dou of u comma v is equal to 1. From that, we can find the required result. We'll see the problem. So, first of all, the given information is x is equal to uv. And y is equal to u plus v by u minus v. Now let us find dou x by dou u, I mean del x by del u. Similarly, del x by del v. So here dou x by dou u, also called del x by del u, that is v. Similarly, del x by del v, that is dou x by dou v, that is u. Similarly, you can also find dou y by dou u, dou y by dou v. When you are partially differentiating with respect to u, at that time u is only the variable, other variable v shall be kept constant. So this is u by v rule. So from that, denominator u minus v as it is, numerator u plus v derivative with respect to u partially, that is 1 minus u plus v into denominator u minus v derivative with respect to u partially, that is 1. 1 minus 0, that is 1. Divided by denominator u plus v, u minus v whole square. So numerator, here u minus v minus of u plus v, minus u plus u cancel. Here minus into plus v, minus v minus 2v. So minus 2v by u minus v whole square. This is equal to del y by del u, I mean dou y by dou u is equal to minus 2v divided by u minus v whole square. Now let us find the value of dou y by dou v. So from this, dou y by dou v is equal to u minus v into u plus v derivative with respect to v1. So that is u minus v into 1, u minus v into 1 minus of u plus v into u minus v derivative with respect to v partially 0 minus 1, that is minus 1, minus 1 into u plus v, minus 1 into u plus v, minus 1 into minus plus into u plus v upon what we have in the denominator, that is u minus v whole square. Now you observe here u minus v, u plus v, here minus v plus v cancel, that is u plus u, that is 2u by u minus v whole square. Now let us find the Jacobian of x comma y with respect to u comma v. Jacobian of x comma u with respect to u comma v is defined as dou of x comma y by dou of u comma v, that is equal to determinant of the first row is dou x by dou u, dou x by dou v. Second row is dou y by dou u, dou y by dou v. Dou x by dou u. What is the value of dou x by dou u? Dou x by dou u is v, dou x by dou v is u. Dou y by dou u, dou y by dou v. What is dou y by dou u? Dou y by dou u is minus 2v by u minus v whole square. Minus 2v by u minus v whole square. Next to dou y by dou v, that is 2u by u minus v whole square. To u by u minus v whole square. Now let us find the determinant of this matrix, that is V into 2U, that is 2UV by U minus V whole square minus, now minus 2V into U minus 2UV minus 2UV into minus symbol, that is plus 2UV divided by U minus V whole square. So 2UV plus 2UV, that is 4UV. This is equal to 4UV divided by U minus V whole square. This is the value of Jacobian of x comma y with respect to U comma V. Jacobian of x comma y with respect to U comma V. I mean dou of x comma y by dou of U comma V. Now we know that dou of U comma V by dou of x comma y into dou of x comma y by dou of U comma V is equal to 1. Now you observe, we have already found Jacobian of x comma y with respect to U comma V, that is 4UV by U minus V whole square. So from this I can write, this is Jacobian of U comma V with respect to x comma y into, what is this value? 4UV by U minus V whole square. 4UV by U minus V whole square. This is a property. Actually that property is, it is assumed as J and it is assumed as J dash or J prime. So J into J dash is equal to 1. From that we can write this. It's a property. So from this, therefore Jacobian of U comma V with respect to x comma y, dou of U comma V with respect to by dou of x comma y is equal to, by cross multiplication, U minus V whole square divided by 4UV. U minus V whole square by 4UV. U minus V whole square by 4UV. That is the answer. Now you just look at the problem. U is equal to x cube plus y cube, where x is equal to a cos t and y is equal to b sin t. Then we were asked to find the value of du by dt. For this example, if you want, you can directly apply total derivative definition, like du by dt is equal to dou u by dou x into dx by dt plus dou u by dou y into dy by dt. Or else you may directly do like this also. Simply substitute x is equal to a cos t and y is equal to b sin t. Directly you can find du by dt. That is fine as compared to applying that particular total derivative concept. So I would like to do u is equal to x cube plus y cube. What is x value? A cos t. What is y value? B sin t. So I would like to substitute x value a cos t, y value b sin t, followed by we need to find du by dt. X value a cos t whole cube plus y value b sin t whole cube. Now it is a cube cos cube t plus b cube sin t whole cube, that is sin cube t. Now let us find the value of du by dt. This is comfortable as well as convenient, I think, for you. This is treat it as t. It is not t, just assume it as t, t cube. Treat it as t. T cube derivative 3t square. 3 into t square means cos t whole square, that is cos square t. What we assumed as t? Cos t. So, but it is not actually t. That's why differentiate cos t again with respect to t. That is minus sin t. Minus symbol was kept out, plus. Now, similarly, assume sin t as t. Then it becomes t cube. T cube derivative 3t square. So, 3 into t square, that is 3 into b cube, t square. T means sin t whole square, that would be sin square t, but it is not t. The function which we have assumed as t is not really t. So that's why it should again be differentiated one more time with respect to t. Sin t derivative with respect to t, that is cos t. So let me check the options. Minus 3a square cos square t sin t plus minus 3a cube minus 3a cube cos square t sin t plus 3b cube sin square t cos t. Minus 3a cube cos square t sin t plus 3b cube sin square t cos t. So option A will be the right answer. Option A is correct. Now you read the given problem. Suppose that a book of 600 pages contains 40 printing mistakes. 600 pages book will have 40 printing mistakes. Assume that these errors are randomly distributed throughout the book. And you are asked to assume that x is number of errors per page. And it has a Poisson distribution. What is the probability that 10 pages selected at random out of 600 pages will be free for errors? So therefore, let us find please do remember 600 pages book containing how many errors? 40 errors, I think. 40 printing mistakes. Means 40 errors. I mean 40 errors means 40 printing mistakes. If 600 pages book containing 40 printing mistakes, then we need to check 10 pages, because we were asked to find the probability that 10 pages selected at random should be free of errors, means will not contain any printing mistakes. That's why let us convert 600 pages book containing 40 errors to 10 pages book. Remember, 10 pages now let us assume average number of printing mistakes per 10 pages, means average value of the Poisson distribution, that is lambda is equal to NP. Actually lambda is equal to NP. N means number of samples that we have taken, or we can directly write this. This is equal to 40 into 10 by 100, 600. Now this is 4 by 6, that is 2 by 3. So average number of printing mistakes per 10 page should be lambda is equal to 2 by 3. You may also find it as lambda is equal to NP. NP means there you write probability. P means what? Probability of printing mistakes per 600 book is 40 out of 600. So 40 by 600, that is P. N means number of items in the sample is 10. So N into P. Directly we can write that. Now let us find, just for the sake of our convenience, now please do remember that in this problem they mentioned clearly X means number of errors per page only, but we need number of errors per 10 pages. That's why just for the sake of our convenience only, I would like to assume Y is equal to number of errors per 10 pages, because here X is equal to number of errors per one page only it was given. That's why just for the sake of convenience only, I would like to change the variable. So this is, I want to assume, let Y is equal to number of errors per 10 pages. Number of errors per 10 pages. If you can assume the Poisson distribution is P of, in terms of Y, I want to write P of X is equal to lambda power X into e power minus lambda by X factorial. P of Y is lambda power Y into e power minus lambda by Y factorial. So now let us assume number of Y is equal to number of errors per 10 page. And what we were asked to find? We were asked to find the probability that 10 pages selected at random will be free of errors. Means out of what is the probability of there would be 0 errors for the 10 pages selected at random. So now 0 errors means Y value 0 for 10 pages regarding errors. So I can write, we need to find probability of Y is equal to 0. Just for the sake of convenience only, I have changed the variable, because they have already mentioned X is number of errors per one page only. We need number of errors per 10 pages, and here Y is equal to 0 errors per 10 page. That is lambda power Y. Y means 0. It was already given formula. Lambda power Y. Y value 0. Lambda power Y. Y value 0. E power minus lambda by 0 factorial. Now please observe, what is e power minus lambda? That is equal to e to the power of minus 2 by 3. Lambda value 2 by 3, I think you can cross check. Yes, lambda value 2 by 3. So lambda value 2 by 3, lambda power 0, 1, 0 factorial 1, e power minus lambda, that is e power minus 2 by 3. What is e power minus 2 by 3? So e to the power of minus 2 by 3. So option C is the right answer. Let's have a look on the next problem. You just need to observe this problem. The highest eigenvalue of the given 2 by 2 matrix 1, 2, 4, 3. That's fine. Let us write the characteristic equation in your own style, or you may even write the characteristic equation like this also. The characteristic equation is lambda square minus lambda into trace A plus det A is equal to 0. We can always, it is not mandatory to use this formula. If you want even, you can use the formula determinant of a minus lambda is equal to 0 in order to get the characteristic equation. Or else we can do like this also. So that is lambda square. Trace of a matrix means sum of the diagonal elements of a matrix. Sum of the diagonal elements is 1 plus 3, 4. So minus lambda into 4, that is minus 4 lambda plus det A. What is the determinant of a matrix? 3 minus 8, that is minus 5. What are the roots we need to find? This is lambda square. Minus 4 lambda can be written as minus 5 lambda plus lambda. Minus 5 is equal to 0. So from these two, take out lambda common. So lambda into lambda minus 5 plus lambda minus 5 is equal to 0. Take out lambda minus 5 as a common factor. So lambda plus 1 into lambda minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore lambda is equal to 5 comma minus 1 are eigenvalues. Lambda is equal to 5 comma minus 1 are the eigenvalues. We just need highest eigenvalue. What is highest eigenvalue? 5. 5 is the highest eigenvalue. So let us verify the options. Yes. Five is the eigenvalue. I mean regarding highest eigenvalue. Let us look at the next problem. Now you observe, if the determinant of a matrix is equal to p square, pq minus 1, q square, q minus 1 and this. If the determinant of the matrix is equal to 0, moreover in which, I mean in this determinant, the values of p comma q comma r are different. The value of product of the elements p, q, r is dash. Now please do remember that while you are calculating the determinant of one particular matrix, whenever you come across one particular row or one particular column contains sum, addition or subtraction of any two particular elements, see, one particular row or column contains a subtraction of two elements, then this determinant should be expressed as subtraction of two separated determinants. Or one particular row or column contains sum of two elements, then that entire determinant must be expressed as sum of two separated determinants. Now let us look at this. Take the given problem even. So from this what I do is, first let us separate. Delta is equal to here p square. Here pq minus 1, here q square, q cube minus 1, here r, this is r square, here r square, this is r cube minus 1. Let us write this determinant. First determinant as it is, that is first column as it is, even second column as it is. Now here only first elements will be written as third column here. Only first elements will be written as third column plus the second determinant is first and second columns as it is in both the determinants. Now here in the first determinant, only first elements of third column should be written here. In the second determinant, you write only second elements. I have already written. If you want, you can write -1 or do one thing. Instead of this plus symbol, you just write minus symbol. Here you write 1, 1, 1. Now you observe -1, -1, -1. It's a property. Now please do remember that the common factor from the first row is P. Common factor from the second row is Q. Common factor from the third row is R. From the first row, I will take P. From the second row, I will take Q. From the third row, I will take R. If I take P as a common factor from the first row, it is 1P, P square. If I take Q common from the second row, then it is 1Q, Q square. If I take R common from the third row, it is 1R, R square. Now you observe, I want to get the second determinant also in this format. Please do remember that if two rows or columns have been interchanged, the original value of the determinant should be multiplied by -1. Look at, actually our first column is 1, 1, 1 here. In order to get first column elements as 1, 1, 1 here, then I just want to interchange first and third columns. When you interchange first and third columns, here it becomes 1, 1, 1. Here it becomes PQR. So you'll get 1, 1, 1, but here it is becoming PQR. But this determinant PQR, that is in the second column. So that's why again you need to interchange the second and third columns. Once you interchange the first and third columns, in the first column of second determinant, you will get 1, 1, 1. Third column will now be PQR. But in order to make PQR as a second column, again second and third columns should be interchanged. Then it is PQR. This is P square, Q square, R square. That's fine. But whenever the determinant is multiplied or whenever the rows have been interchanged, two times the rows or columns have been interchanged, one time -1, second time -1, -1 into -1 plus into this minus symbol, as it is minus symbol only. Now the common factor is this determinant. If I take out, they gave already in the problem that the determinant of the matrix is equal to 0. Even here also it is 0. Is equal to 0. If I take out this determinant as common factor, then it would be PQR -1. So PQR -1 into this determinant, that is first row 1P, P square, second row 1Q, Q square, third row 1R, R square is equal to 0. So one simplest thing is product of these two values, this value into this value is equal to 0. Then either this value 0 or this value 0. But when you observe this, PQR -1 is equal to 0, then it becomes PQR is equal to 1. So one of the option is matching with that PQR. We just need the product of PQR. So what is the product of PQR? One of the value is 1. So one of the answer is matching. So no need to check for the remaining options also. Even if you want, you can simplify the second part of the determinant. You will not get the answer 1 or remaining values. So this is from this. We can write PQR -1 is equal to 0. So PQR is equal to 1. One possibility. Other possibility is determinant of this matrix is equal to 0. Or 1P, P square, 1Q, Q square, 1R, R square. As they mentioned in the problems, If P comma Q comma R are different elements, then the determinant of this matrix will not be 0. So it won't be 0. Then the possibility is PQR minus 1 is equal to 0, so that PQR is equal to 1. If PQR are different elements, it cannot be 0. You can cross check. You just observe. If A is equal to matrix, we just need the rank of the given matrix. Very simple. First of all, what I want to write is the given matrix is minus 1, 2, 3, minus 2, 2, minus 5, 1, 2, 3, minus 8, 5, 2, 5, minus 12, minus 1, 6. So now select the first row, first element. All elements below that first row, first element must be made zeros with the help of row operations. Now, second row minus 2 times of first row, second row plus 2 times of first row, even third row plus 3 times of first row. 3 plus 3 into minus 1, that is 3 minus 3, it is 0. So this is third row implies third row plus 3 times of first row. Similarly, fifth row plus 5 times of first row, 5 plus minus 5. Now let us do this. The matrix A is equal to, what is the first row? Minus 1, 2, 3, minus 2. Minus 1, 2, 3, minus 2. Now you observe second row plus 2 times of first row. That is 2 plus 2, 0. Minus 5 plus 4, minus 1. That is 1 plus 6, 7. 2 minus 4, minus 2. Now third row plus 3 times of first row. That is 3 plus 3 into minus 1. 3 minus 3, 0. Minus 8 plus 6, minus 2. Next I think 14. 5 plus 3 3s are 9, 14. 2 minus 6, minus 4. Fourth row plus 5 times of first row. 5 minus 5, 0. Minus 12 plus 10, minus 2. Minus 1 plus 5, 14. 6 minus 10, minus 4. This is the matrix. Please do remember that third row and fourth row are linearly dependent rows upon the second row, because third and fourth rows can be expressed as a linear combination of the second row. I mean third row is equal to a constant multiple of second row. I mean third row is equal to 2 times of second row, even fourth row is equal to 2 times of second row. Therefore, third and fourth rows are linearly dependent upon the second row, whereas second row is individual row, I mean independent row, and first row also independent row. So, number of independent rows 2. So, therefore, rank of a matrix is 2. Directly we can answer like this. Or else, if you want, you can do like this also. That is, third row minus 2 times of second row fourth row minus 2 times of second row. Then it is A is equal to minus 1, 2, 3, minus 2. Even second row as it is, that is 0, minus 1, 7, minus 2. This is 0, minus 2, plus 2, 0, 14 minus 14, 0, minus 4 plus 4, 0. Same story here also, 0, 0, 0. So third and fourth rows are linearly dependent upon the second row. So that's why third and fourth rows have been zeros, have become zeros. Therefore, rank of A is equal to 2. Let us see the next problem. Just observe. You are given one 3 by 3 matrix. Then which of the following is correct? So for 3 by 3 matrix, some of the students have a doubt that, as we all know that here A square coefficient is sum of the diagonal elements. Sum of the diagonal elements is 1 plus 3, 4. So A square coefficient is 4. Here minus 4, here plus 4. Which is correct, we don't know. So that's why let us solve the problem according to the procedure. We'll get some clarity. Now first of all, the formula to find eigenvalues are the characteristic equation. Remember, the characteristic equation of any 3 by 3 matrix we can find using either a det A minus lambda is equal to 0, or we can also find like this, lambda cube minus S1 into lambda square plus S2 into lambda minus S3 is equal to 0. Terms alternately positive and alternately negative, plus, minus, plus, minus. Now S1 means what? Sum of the principal diagonal elements. S1 means trace of a matrix. That is sum of the principal diagonal elements, that is 1 plus 0 plus 3, that is 4. S2 means sum of the minors of principal diagonal elements. S2 means sum of minors of principal diagonal elements. Now let us find sum of the minors of principal diagonal elements. Now first of all, you observe, these are the principal diagonal elements. To find the minor of this element, delete the corresponding row, corresponding column, and find the determinant of remaining elements. That is 0 minus into 2 into minus 1 minus 2. Minus 2 into minus symbol plus 2. So minor of 1 is plus 2. Minor of 1 is plus 2. Plus. Let us find the next minor. To find the minor of 0, to find the minor of this element 0, delete this row, this column, find it is 3 minus 2, 1. 3 minus 2, 1. Plus. What is the next principal diagonal element? 3. To find the principal minor of this element, delete this row and this column, find the determinant of remaining elements. That is 0 minus 6. That is minus 6. So this is 3 minus 6, that is minus 3. Now let us find even det A. S3 means det A. What is det A? Roughly, I will write det A here. Det A is equal to 1 into 0 plus 2 minus 3 into 6 plus 1, 6 plus 1 plus 2 into 4. This is equal to 2 minus 21 plus 8. So that is 10, 10 minus 21, that is minus 11. Det A is equal to minus 11. So substitute the complete information in the given equation. I mean the characteristic equation. Characteristic equation is lambda cube minus S1 into lambda square minus S1 into lambda square, S1 value 4, lambda cube minus S1 into lambda square plus S2 into lambda plus S2 into lambda. What is S2 value? Minus 3. Lambda cube minus S1 into lambda square plus S2 into lambda, S2 value minus 3, S2 value minus 3, S2 into lambda minus S3, minus S3, minus S3 value minus 11, minus into minus, plus 11 is equal to 0. So by Cayley-Hamilton theorem, every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Means lambda should be replaced by A here. By Cayley-Hamilton theorem, we have a cube minus 4a square minus 3a plus 11i is equal to 0. Now let us verify the options. A cube minus 4a square minus 3a option B, a cube minus 4a square minus 3a plus 11i. So option B is correct. So from now, my colleague V. Aditya will take over the session. Thank you.
Let's look at this problem. What he says is, the Maclaurin series expansion of e power sin x is dash. Let's look at what would be the Maclaurin series of a function f of x. So the Maclaurin series is given by f of x equal to f of 0 plus f dash of 0 into x by 1 factorial plus f double dash of 0 into x square by 2 factorial and so on. So now what we will do is, we will assume f of x equal to e power sin x. So let's do that. What is f of x? E power sin x. So what are you supposed to find? You are supposed to find f of 0, f dash of 0, f double dash of 0 and so on, and based on the result you have to verify your options. So I'll start with what is f of 0. F of 0 is e power sin 0. Now we know sin 0 is 0, e power 0 is 1. So f of 0 is 1. Let's put this aside. Let's find f dash of x. So what is f dash of x? That is e power sin x into The derivative of e power sin x is e power sin x into the derivative of sin x, that is cos x. What I need? I need its value at x equal to 0. So what is f dash of 0? E power sin 0 is 0, e power 0 is 1, cos 0 is 1, f dash of 0 is also 1. Now we got f dash of 0. Like that you need to find the second derivative. So let's look at the second derivative. Now with f dash of 0 equal to 1, can you eliminate any of the options? In all these cases, the constant that is sitting is 1. So I can't eliminate any of the options. Look at the coefficient of x. Here it's 1, here it's minus 1. So now I can eliminate option B, right? Now you have to find the other ones. So whether it is A, C or D. For that I'm finding the second derivative. So let's look at the second derivative. The second derivative is, so this is like u into v. So you need to use product rule. Let's use product rule. So that is, I'll keep e power sin x as it is and take the derivative of cos, which is minus sin. Now I keep cos x as it is, take the derivative of this quantity. So how much is that? E power sin x into the derivative of sin x, that is cos x. Now what we are supposed to do is substitute x equal to 0 into it. Let's substitute x equal to 0 into it. So what is f double dash of 0? Now sin 0 is 0 yaar. 0 multiplied with this quantity would be 0. So you need not worry about this. Look at this, e power sin 0. Sin 0 is 0, e power 0 is 1. This is 1, this is also 1. So f double dash of 0 is 1. So second derivative at x equal to 0 is 1. So you have x square by 2. Which options have got x square by 2? So you have eliminated b earlier. Now you can eliminate a. You are left with c and d. Now you need not go for the third derivative because there is no x cube term here. So what you are supposed to do is find fourth derivative. Now anyway, to find fourth derivative we need third derivative. So find third derivative and then fourth derivative, substitute x equal to 0. So what I'm suggesting is, I'm saying you to find the fourth derivative and then substitute 0. So it is going to take some time. So I have done my calculations. The fourth derivative at x equal to 0 gave me minus 3. So this gave me how much? Minus 3. Now substitute this into the Maclaurin series. The fourth derivative by 4 factorial. So minus 3 by 24. Minus 3 by 24 is like minus 1 by 8. So which options have got x power 4 coefficient as minus 1 by 8? Obviously it is C. So the answer for this question is C, option C. Let's go to the next question. So he says the real root of this cubic polynomial, correct to 4 decimal places, obtained using Newton-Raphson method is. So I hope you're all aware of Newton-Raphson iterative formula. So what is Newton-Raphson iterative formula? So the Newton-Raphson iterative formula is, let's say you have a function called f of x. Okay. So let's assume this f of x to be x cube plus x square plus 3x plus 4. Now let's say you have got an initial guess. Let's say initial guess is x naught. Now with the help of initial guess and with the help of this function, how do you find the next approximation? So the next approximation using Newton-Raphson method is given by x1 equal to x naught minus f of x naught by f dash of x naught. So what is needed is, the function is needed, the initial guess is needed. So they have provided us the function f of x, but they have not provided us x naught. So what I would like to do is, I would like to choose 2 points like let's say x equal to minus 2. Now at this point I would like to see what is f of minus 2. So let's find what is f of minus 2. So how much is f of minus 2? It is minus 8 plus 4 minus 6 plus 4. So this is 4 plus 4, 8. So this cancels. This is minus 6. Let's find what's the value at, I'm choosing, let's say x equal to minus 1. So how much is f of minus 1? F of minus 1 is minus 1 plus 3. Oh, I'm sorry, not, it's plus 3. So minus 1 plus 1 minus 3 plus 4. So let's see what happens. So I can cancel this, this, this. So what is f of minus 1? It is 1. Now clearly f of minus 2 and f of minus 1 are of opposite sign. Now whenever they are of opposite sign, clearly there would be a root in the interval that is from minus 2 to minus 1. So now what I would like to do is, I would like to take this f of minus, f of minus 1 is 1. So I would like to take this minus 1 as my initial guess. So let's take minus 1 as my initial guess. So what happens if I take minus 1 as initial guess? Right? So I also need f dash of x. So I'll find it. What is f dash of x? It is 3x square plus 2x plus 3. Now substitute all this into this. Let's see what would be x1. So I have taken x naught equal to minus 1. You can take x naught also as minus 2, it doesn't matter. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to go for many number of iterations, right? So even if you take minus 2, this will give you the same answer. Okay. So let me take x naught equal to minus 1. So what is x1? X naught, that is minus 1 minus f of x naught. So what is f of x naught? It is minus 1 plus 1. Okay. So it's minus 3 plus 4 whole divided by f dash of x naught. So that is 3 minus 2 plus 3. Let's see how much is this. So this is minus 1 minus 1 by 4. So how much is this? This is minus 1.25. Now you have to use this as your next approximation and then find, this as your guess and then find the next approximation, that is x2, x3. So once you do that, you will see that the sequence is converging and then you will see that the answer for this problem, right? So just by x1 you can't decide the answer, you have to find x2, x3. So we know that Newton-Raphson method converges quickly. So I suggest you to find x2 and then make a comment on this. So I have calculated this. It turns out that the answer for this problem is option C, right? It turns out that the answer for this problem is option C. Let's go to the next problem. Look at this problem. It says the value of this integral by Simpson's 1/3 rule is. You know what we were doing while solving this question? We started doing this with 2 subintervals. Right, we have evaluated that, but the answer that we have got was not matching with the options. So then what I thought was, okay, let me do with some 6 subintervals. So for example, I have set the step size as 1. Okay, so let's continue this. So what would be the process? Let's see that. So what I have done here is I have taken step size to be 1. If you take the step size as 1, then the number of subintervals you will have is 6. So what would be the Simpson's rule? According to the Simpson's rule, this integral, that is integral 0 to 6 dx by 1 plus x square will be equal to what? H by 3 y0 plus y6, right? y0 plus y6 plus 4 times y1, y3 and y5 plus 2 times y2 plus y4. So this would be the Simpson's rule with this number of subintervals. Now for that, what we need to do is, to get this answer, we need y0, y1, so on, all these values, right? So let's create a table. So the table is like this. Let's say this is x, this is y. So what are the values of x? The values of x are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I need to take 7 points. Okay, so between 7 points, you'll have 6 subintervals. So what is y? Y is 1 by 1 plus x square. Substitute all these points into the function, find the corresponding y values. For example, substitute 0 here. So you get 1 by 1 plus 0, that is 1. That is 1 by 1 plus 0 square, that is 1. Substitute 1 here, 1 by 1 plus 1 square, you get 1 by 2. You get 1 by 1 plus 4, which is 1 by 5, 1 by 1 plus 3 square, 1 by 10, 1 by 1 plus 16, that is 1 by 17, this is 1 by 26, this is 1 by 37. You need to substitute all these values into this, right? H is known, all these values are known, right? It is all about patience. Substitute, simplify. It turns out that the answer for this problem is 1.3662, right? So this is what is the answer. So let's go to the next problem. So have a look at this problem. What does he say in this problem? It says the value of this summation is dash. How do you read this? Right? I read it like this. Right? So he says x from 1 to n 1 by x plus 3 into x plus 4. So this is what we are supposed to simplify. So what we will do is, in the first step, I'll do a rearrangement. Have a look at this rearrangement. So the summation x from 1 to what? N. Look at this rearrangement. X plus 4 minus x plus 3. Anyway, x cancels. 4 minus 3 is 1. Divided by what? Divided by x plus 3 into x plus 4. Let's separate the terms. Now when I separate, this and this cancels. This and this cancels. So what you will have is, you will have something like this. X from 1 to n 1 by x plus 3 minus 1 by x plus 4. Let's substitute x equal to 1, x equal to 2, so on, x equal to n. You get a series. Just by looking at the series, you can comment about the answer. So let's go ahead. When I substitute x equal to 1, I get 1 by 4 minus 1 by 5 plus, because summation is there, substitute x equal to 2. So this is 1 by 5 minus 1 by 6 plus, substitute x equal to 3. You get 1 by 6 minus 1 by 7, so on. What? So on. When I substitute the last term, I get 1 by n plus 3 minus 1 by n plus 4. Okay. Now look at this. Can you simplify it? Yes, I can simplify it. This cancels. This cancels. This and so on. Right? All these terms cancel. The two terms that are left over are this 1 by 4 and minus 1 by n plus 4. Let's simplify that result. So what are the terms that are left over? 1 by 4 and 1 by n plus 4. Let's simplify that. So this is 1 by 4 minus 1 by n plus 4. Let's do the LCM. So this is n plus 4 minus 4 by 4 into n plus 4. Now you can cancel this. What is left over? N by 4 into n plus 4. So this summation gets simplified to n by 4 into n plus 4. Let's see whether we have got that option or not. N by 4 into n plus 4. Do we have that option? Yes. N by 4 into n plus 4. Let's go to the next problem. Right, we have got an interesting question here. Let's read it. The surface which intersects the surfaces of the system, okay, some surfaces of the system is given by this equation. Okay, let me again read this. The surface which intersects the surfaces of the system orthogonally and which passes through the circle x square plus y square equal to 1, z equal to 1 is given by. If you go by the usual way, it is going to be too lengthy, right? Objective exam, no one is going to solve using the conventional way. So what I would like to do is, he clearly says the required surface is orthogonal to this and also passes through the circle x square plus y square equal to 1 and z equal to 1. So what I would like to do is, I would like to verify the options. Okay. For example, if you look at the circle x square plus y square equal to 1, clearly the circle passes through. If you look at this, x square plus y square equal to 1, the circle passes through points like 0, 1, 1, 0, 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, right? Now in all these cases, the value of z is 1. In all these cases, the value of z is 1. The surface that you are looking should also should satisfy these points, right? That means when I substitute these points into this, left hand side should be equal to the right hand side, because the surface is passing through the circle and this z equal to 1. So let's verify this. Let's verify. So let me start with the first option. I'll start with 0, 1 and z equal to 1. This 0, 1 implies that x is 0, y is 1, and anyway z is always 1. So this is 0 plus 1 equal to 2 plus 1 minus 2. So I'm verifying at 0, 1, I'm verifying with option A. So it's 0 plus 1 equal to 2 plus 1 minus 2. So is LHS equal to RHS? Yes. Let's look at B. B is like 0 square minus 1 square equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1. Clearly LHS is not equal to RHS. You can eliminate B. Let's look at C. 0 square minus 1 square equal to 1 plus 4. Clearly LHS is not equal to RHS. You can even eliminate this. Let's look at D. 0 plus 1 equal to 1 plus 1 plus 4. So 0 plus 1, is it equal to 1 plus 1 plus 4? No. The only option that satisfies is option A. If you go with the conventional way, it is going to be very, very lengthy, right? So this kind of problems are in the standard books as well. So if you are interested, you can refer those books. But this is how you solve in a objective exam. Let's go to the next problem. Let's look at this. He says the surface area of that portion of the surface, right? So the surface is given by this equation, z equal to root of 4 minus x square, that lies above rectangle R in the xy plane whose coordinates satisfy, that means he is giving you the range for x and y. X is from 0 to 1, y is from 0 to 4. Okay, the question is all about finding the surface area. So what I would like to do is, I would like to consider a surface like this, let's say phi, which is like z minus root of 4 minus x square. Okay, I have considered a surface called phi this way. Now we have a standard formula for finding the surface area. Okay, so what is that standard formula is? Have a look at this. The surface area is given by the double integral over the region R. Okay, root of phi x square plus phi y square plus phi z square whole divided by phi z into dx dy, right? So there is a derivation involved here. If you have a surface which is given by the equation phi, right? So what we usually do is we project that surface into the xy plane, right? So we take a small surface area, we project that into the xy plane, see what is the value in that xy plane, and then we integrate over the entire region, right? So you can either follow that or you can use this direct result. So when you use this result, what is this phi x, phi y, phi z? Phi x means the partial derivative of phi with respect to x, and so on with respect to y, with respect to z. So if you can find this, substitute all these values, you will be getting the required surface area. And do you know what is region R? Yes, I know the region R. It is given by, that is x from 0 to 1, y from 0 to 4. Let's find phi x, phi y, phi z. So let's do that. So let's see what is phi x. The partial derivative of phi with respect to x. So this is 0 minus, so this is like root x. The derivative of that is 1 by 2 into root of 4 minus x square into the derivative of the inside quantity, that is minus 2x. So you can cancel this. Finally what is left? X by root of 4 minus x square. Let's find phi y, that is a partial derivative of phi with respect to y. Now there is no y involved here, so because of that this quantity would be 0. Let's find phi z, The partial derivative of this is 1 and this is anyway 0. So phi z is 1. Substitute all these values into this integral and then simplify it. Let's do that. So do you know the limits? Yes, x limits are given, y limits are also given. X is from 0 to 1, y is from 0 to 4. So I'll write first y limits 0 to 4, x limits 0 to 1, root of phi x square. So you need to square this. When you square, you get x square by 4 minus x square. This is 0 plus phi z square is, phi z is 1 into dx dy. Even this quantity is 1. If you can simplify this, that would be the final answer. So let's simplify it. So this 4 minus x square goes here, x square cancels. So what you see here is something like this: 4 by 4 minus x square dx dy. This is from 0 to 1, this is from 0 to 4. So if you can simplify this, we are done with our problem. Let's simplify this. So root 4 is 2, so 2 comes out. 0 to 4. What is integration of, now root 4 is now out, 1 by 4 minus x square. So you have the under root. So we have a formula like this here. Have a look at this. So have a look at this formula, 1 by root of a square minus x square. So what is integration of this? The integration of this is simply sine inverse x by a. So use this result. What would be the integration of 1 by root of 4 minus x square? It would be sine inverse x by 2, and the limits are 0 to 1, and then you have got one more integration with respect to y. Substitute 1 here, sine inverse 1 by 2. Sine inverse 1 by 2 is pi by 30 degrees, right? So sine 30 is 1 by 2, so pi by 6. So we need to write it in radians actually. So this is pi by 6, sine inverse 0 is 0. So when you do the integration, substitute, you get pi by 6 here. And then one more integration is left over with respect to y. So that is 0 to 4 dy. 2 is also multiplied. So how much is this here? This will give you 4 into 2 is 8 pi by 6. 8 pi by 6 is 4 pi by 3. Let's see whether we have got an answer like that, 4 pi by 3. So have a look at this. Yes, we have got that. That is option D. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's look at this problem. So what does he say in this problem? The value of y at x equal to 0.1 to 5 places of decimals by Taylor series method. It's given that dy by dx is x square y minus 1 and y of 0 equal to 1. So let's write the given differential equation. The given differential equation is like this: dy by dx equal to x square y minus 1. So this reminds me about dy by dx equal to f of x comma y. What he wants? He wants the value of y at x equal to 0.1 using Taylor's series method. So what would be the Taylor series? Let's say, what is y of x1? So what would be y of x1 using a Taylor series? It would be something like y of x naught plus y dash of x naught into the step size by 1 factorial plus y double dash of x naught into h square by 2 factorial plus y triple dash of x naught into h cube by 3 factorial and so on. This would be the Taylor series. Now you need to substitute what is y of x naught, y dash of x naught, y double dash, y triple dash. And since x naught is 0, x1 is 0.1, their difference would be the step size. So what is h? H is 0.1. So let's try to find what is y of x naught. So when you say y of x naught, it means y of 0. What is y of 0 given as? 1. I know this quantity now. I need to find the remaining quantities. So let's see, how do you find the remaining quantities? I need to find y dash, but y dash is given as what? Y dash, that is dy by dx, is x square y minus 1 here. So it's very simple calculation. Y dash of x naught is simply f of x naught comma y naught. So you have observed f of x comma y, that is this. So this is like 0 square into 1 minus 1. So how much is this? This is minus 1. So I now know y dash of x naught. I need to find y double dash of x naught. So for that, first I need to find y double dash. So what is y double dash? Now to find y double dash, I have to take the derivative of y dash, right? So I already know y dash. I have to take derivative of this to get y double dash. So let's take the derivative of this. The derivative of this is 2xy plus x square into y dash. What you need? You need y double dash at x naught. So this is 2 into 0 into anything would be 0 plus 0 square into this would be also be 0, meaning by this value is 0. Let's find the third derivative now. So let's see whether the third derivative will give me the answer or not. So let's look at what is the third derivative. So the third derivative is 2y plus 2x into y dash plus this is, let's say, 2x y dash. Now I'll keep x square as it is, square into y double dash. Okay, so let's substitute x naught into this. Y triple dash of x naught equal to 2 y naught. So this is 2 into 1 plus x is there, so this is 0. X is there, this is 0, right? Plus x is there, this is also 0, meaning by the triple dash is 2. Okay, now you can ignore the other terms. Okay, you can ignore because you will have the fourth derivative of x naught by 4 factorial. Okay, and so on. You can ignore this. So when you ignore this, let's see what is going to happen now. So what is y of x1? It is y of x naught, that is 1, plus what was y dash? What was y dash? Y dash was minus 1. So minus 1 into 0.1, minus 1 into 0.1 by 1 factorial. What is y double dash? Y double dash gave me 0. Okay, so no need to consider this. Plus, what is y triple dash? It's 2. 2 into 0.1 whole cube by 3 factorial, that is 3 into 2. If you simplify this, the answer, let's see, turns out to be, right, you need to simplify this, it turns out to be option C. Option C.